Hi guys, this is Pragya. Welcome to my channel FINMOM. I try to make finance simple for you. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and if you like the video, hit like at the end of it. So let's get started. Now most of you own a credit card. Who doesn't? And who doesn't like them? Everybody loves the plastic. But have you ever wondered why credit card companies give you a free line of credit? Or how do they actually make money from you? We are going to talk about the big credit card gimmick. Have you seen a credit card bill? With the outstanding amount, it tempts you with a minimum due. If you pay the minimum due, you are not defaulting in your credit card, but you just have to pay a small amount of interest and you can pay the amount later. But why would they charge you a small amount of interest for that? They don't. They charge you a very, very high rate of interest. It might go as high as 4% per month compounded daily. Do you understand? That is like almost 50% per annum or even more than 50%. So every time you fall in the trap of the minimum due gimmick, you end up paying more. Sometimes you actually end up paying more than what you've spent. We will understand how credit card companies calculate interest after you pay the minimum due. See, psychologically, even me, when I see that I have to pay 10,000 and I am given an option to pay 1,000, why would I pay 10? I'll just pay 1,000. 9,000 I can always pay later, and now I can use that 9,000 to maybe, spend on something else. So let us understand the credit card gimmick or the minimum due gimmick that I call, because that will ultimately lead you into a debt trap. And the rate of interest that I have taken, the calculation that I have done is all from SBI website. So you can actually go and see. In the SBI credit card website, they have actually listed this as a part of the terms and conditions and fees and charges, but nobody reads the fine print. But I am going to tell you how the calculation is made, and please pay attention so the next time you are tempted to pay the minimum due, you will keep the interest calculation in mind. Sometimes it is actually better to take a personal loan rather pay interest on your credit card. And the sooner people realize this, the sooner there'll be better financial discipline. Let's get started on the calculation. So, see, if you made a purchase on 15th of March, say you're spending 10,000 on it. Now, you get your statement on 2nd April, say. I get my statement on 2nd of every month, so that's how I've done the calculation. So, you get your statement on 2nd April for 10,000 rupees. The due date, you're given a 20-day credit period, so say 22nd April is your due date. Now the minimum due is just 5% of the 10,000. So the minimum due becomes 500. The rate of interest that is charged is 3.5% per month. That equals to almost 40% per annum, but not going there. Rate of interest being 3.5% annum. This is how the interest is calculated. The interest is calculated from the date of purchase, that is 15th March to 22nd April, that is your due date. So that becomes 38 days. 3.5% into 12 divided by 100 into 38 by 365, that is the total number of days in the year, into 10,000 is 438. That is the amount of interest. So far so good. Now the next statement gets generated on 2nd May. So for the next month, interest becomes from 22nd April to 2nd May. That is 3.5% into 12 by 100 into 11 by 365 into 9,500. Because remember, you had paid 500. So the interest is 120 rupees. So as on 2nd May, consider you do not spend anything. The outstanding is the 9,500 that is carried forward, 438 plus 120, which becomes 10,058. So technically, the amount that you pay as interest is more than the amount that you paid as minimum due. Why? Because 3.5% of rate of interest is too high. Even a personal loan gives you an interest rate of as low as, sometimes 10%, depending on your credit score and credit history and everything. So you imagine the amount of interest you pay if you pay minimum due and not the whole of your credit card. And apart from that, you have late payment charges, you have, over limit fees, you have reward redemption fees, you have credit card replacement fees, and some companies actually charge you for check clearance also. Then if you do foreign currency transactions, then there are other charges also. So a lot of charges that you pay to the credit card companies, and that's how they make money out of you. I'll give you one more way how they're charging money from you. Now, you might think, okay, fine, minimum due is too low. I'll get into a debt trap. I have listened to FINMOM, so I'll make partial payment. I am going to pay more than the minimum due. But you're still not paying the whole amount, mind me. So it still attracts interest. We'll learn a small calculation to see how that happens. Say on 15th December, you spent 500 rupees. On 20th December, you spent 600 rupees. And like I said, this calculation is also available in SBI website. You can actually go and check for your own credit card. If you're not an SBI customer, if it is HDFC or ICICI or any other bank, all of these banks have given this calculation in fine print, but nobody bothers reading that. So please pay attention how the interest gets calculated if you're making partial payment. So 15th December, you're spending 500. 20th December, you're spending 600. As on 2nd Jan, the amount that gets payable is 1100 with the due date of 22nd Jan, 20 days period. Okay. Now, out of that 1100, the minimum due is 5% of that, so 55, or say rounded off to 100. But you paid 500 because you don't want to pay minimum due. You're a responsible customer, you paid half of it. Less than half technically, but that's all right. You paid 500. Okay? Now, how the interest gets calculated? The first 500 that you spent on 15th December, the interest on that is 500 into 38 by 365 into 3.5% into 12. That is 21.86. For the remaining 600 that you spent on 28th December, it's 600 into 33 into 3 divided by 365 into 3.5% into 12, that is 22.78. And since you paid only 500, the interest on the remaining 600 will be charged from 22nd Jan to 2nd February. That is your next statement date. So 600 into 12 by 365 into 3.5% into 12, that becomes 8.28. So the total interest that is payable to you by the next statement date is 52.93. So you see, even after making a partial payment, you still have to pay interest from the date of the expenditure till the payment date, even if you're making a partial payment. That is how steep the interest rates are and how steep the calculations are. So next time you think of not paying your bill, please keep in mind the credit card companies are waiting for you to do that, since that is how they make money. So they will put all these charges plus GST, of course. So that just compounds into a huge thing, and it just keeps rolling and makes your finance really, really bad. So please pay your credit cards on time. We learned how interest charges are calculated by credit card companies in case you're paying only the minimum due or you're making just the partial payments. But there is a way even you can make money out of your credit cards, and that we'll learn in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do that. Leave a comment, press the bell icon, hit the like button, and stay tuned so that I can make finance simple for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.